Hello everyone, and welcome to my GH Soap Gossip Today update channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Josslyn leaves Dex after lethal admission. General Medical Clinic, GH, spoilers bother that both Josslyn Jax, briefly played by Courtney Folk, and Dex Heller have through a considerable amount over the most recent couple of days, in spite of the fact that their circumstances were totally unique. In any case, when Joss finds what Dex was doing, it could mean certain doom for their relationship until the end of time. We should investigate. For half a month at this point, Josslyn has gotten to know individual understudy Adam Wright. Adam is very bothered with claims that his folks have too elevated standards for him. This has led to both liquor and illicit drug use as of late. Everything came to head when Joshua went too far. Joss tracked down him just under the wire and had the option to set him to the medical clinic up to save his life. In any case, it was dicey for some time and it took a seriously profound cost for Joss herself. As watchers know, Dex works for Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard. As of recently, Dex hasn't needed to cross specific limits under Sonny's utilize, yet all that changed when Sonny persuaded Dex to kill Cyrus Renault. Sonny controlled Dex until Dex concurred. As a matter of fact, Dex would be a killer at this moment in the event that Sonny hadn't cancelled the hit without a second to spare. Yet, this won't be the last time that Sonny gives Dex a similar kind of request, and in the long run Dex will see everything through to completion. It is inevitable before Josslyn discovers that Dex was able to kill Cyrus for Sonny. Josslyn is contemplating to be a specialist and they have a vow to cause no damage to other people. It just makes sense that she would anticipate that from her accomplice also. When reality emerges, Josslyn might conclude she can't experience that way. Yet, there is by all accounts no chance to get out for Dex, basically until Jason Morgan gets back to recover his situation as Sonny's right-hand man? What is your take? Will Adam make do? How long until Dex is given one more hit to finish? Might Josslyn at any point acknowledge that side of Dex? Anything can occur in Port Charles, so remain tuned to General Clinic broadcasting non-weekend days on ABC. Remember to inquire here consistently for all your overall medical clinic news, data, and spoilers. Willow came to a conclusion about her treatment, and she excused Carly. Sonny defied Carly. Ava consented to help Spencer's offered for care. Esme was remanded to Spring Edge, where she met Heather. Valentine and Anna surrounded Lucy, yet a snare was set. Cameron found Josslyn and Dex together at her quarters. Carolyn visited Elizabeth. Artisan forced Austin by taking steps to hurt Georgie. T. Curtis and Portia's home. Curtis advised Portia that advising Trina to avoid Spencer could make a converse difference. Portia heard a thump at the entryway. Taggart showed up, and he reported that he had been perusing the information. Taggart wanted to find out whether he expected to stress over Trina. Portia and Curtis told Taggart that Trina and Spencer were companions once more. Taggart was vexed, yet Portia said that Curtis had persuaded her to give Trina a space to make sense of things. No offense, however, you're not my little girl's dad, Taggart told Curtis. Curtis shared that Trina hadn't valued Curtis or Portia interrupting on Trina's own life. Taggart said that he knew the Cassadine family excessively well to allow Trina to become engaged with them, and he left. Thereafter, Portia let Curtis know that Taggart was simply regional when it concerned safeguarding Trina. Curtis said he would remain quiet about his parental counsel until he and Portia had their own kid. Curtis told Portia they had their whole future in front of them, and he said he couldn't want anything more than to proceed with the Ashford name and have his very own offspring. Portia constrained a grin accordingly. In Sonny's penthouse, Spencer let Diane know that he needed care of Esme's child. Spencer got some information about a kin acquiring care, and Diane immediately reasoned that Nicholas was the child's dad. Diane noticed that it wasn't not difficult to persuade a court to remove a kid from the two its folks. Spencer reviewed that Michael had once acquired authority of Avery from Sonny years sooner. Diane commented that the case Spencer had referred to had been brief, and she expected that Spencer needed more than transient care of Esme's youngster. That's what Spencer affirmed, assuming he had his direction. Esme's child could never know both of its folks. Diane noticed the displeasure in Spencer's voice, and she said that an adjudicator would hear it, too. Diane scrutinized Spencer's rationale, and she inquired as to whether it was to the greatest advantage of the youngster or on the other hand on the off chance that Spencer was simply looking for retribution against Nicholas and Esme. Diane reminded Spencer that he had quite recently been set free from Pentonville, and she said she was unable to ensure that Spencer would win. Diane cautioned that it would be a long and exhausting street ahead. Spencer said he comprehended, however Diane had misgivings. Do you have any idea what the most startling thing about rapidly spreading fires are? When they begin, whenever they're lit, they are almost difficult to control. Furthermore, every time a case like this comes into a court, it's far and wide has been lit inside a family. Take a gander at Sonny and Michael, or all the more as of late, Michael, Nina and Willow, Diane said. Diane urged Spencer to thoroughly consider things before he called her once more. When this out-of-control fire is lit, it will seethe with unanticipated results, Diane cautioned. In the medical clinic house of prayer, Nicholas enlightened Elizabeth that Victor had gotten the hang of concerning Esme's imprisonment in the North Pinnacle at Windmere. Nicholas guaranteed Elizabeth that he had given her contribution a rest, and he said his family was in impending peril. Elizabeth said that Victor's ploy to hold proof over Nicholas' head was appalling, and she induced that Victor had the ability to annihilate both her and Nicholas. Nicholas guaranteed that he would do anything he expected to safeguard Elizabeth from any of the fault for Esme's capturing. Be that as it may, the present moment, it's not Victor we really want to stress over talking. It's Esme, Nicholas said. Elizabeth didn't figure Esme would recuperate her recollections at any point in the near future, and she added that realizing there was a memory an individual couldn't get to was a two-sided deal. Nicholas said that he and Elizabeth were both free the same length as Esme couldn't recollect. Elizabeth began to leave, and Nicholas asked assuming Elizabeth had at any point gained for what reason she had been experiencing cognitive decline months sooner. Elizabeth shared that Carolyn had quelled Elizabeth's recollections from youth. Nicholas was in dismay, however Elizabeth noticed that she felt to some degree like Esme in not realizing what had occurred with respect to her memory. Nicholas asked what Elizabeth's folks had been so frantic for Elizabeth not to recall. Nicholas apologized for what Elizabeth had experienced. Elizabeth said she was grieved that Victor was compromising Nicholas, who jested about the incongruity of depending on Esme to keep away from both the police and Victor. Elizabeth commented that they were both helpless before Esme's memory when it came to their self-protection. Elizabeth added that her self-safeguarding was more grounded than her compassion, and she wished there was a method for guaranteeing that Esme never recovered her memory. Yet, that is close to unimaginable, Elizabeth expressed generally to herself as she left the church. Subsequently, Nicholas remained in the church alone. Never say never, he said. In Esme's room at the medical clinic, Esme was frightened to track down Laura by her bedside. Laura asked how Esme had showed up in the medical clinic with hypothermia. Esme guaranteed she was unable to recall. Esme was then shocked when Laura said she was the grandma of Esme's child. After Laura made sense of that Esme had remained with Laura and Kevin, Esme commented that Kevin had looked recognizable to her when he had gone to visit Esme in the medical clinic. Esme reviewed that another person had additionally gone to visit her. Laura showed Esme a photograph of two men on her telephone, and Esme uncovered that the most youthful of the two men had visited her. That is him. That is my child's dad, Esme said, and she grinned energetically when the photograph was uncovered to be of Spencer. Esme said that she knew very few individuals around preferred her and that it was bizarre not knowing whether she was at legitimate fault for the allegations that were evened out against her.